Hello, this is a Yamaha S6 grand piano, 212 centimetres long, that's about 6'11", made in 2008 and hardly used, as we'll see in a second. The last one we had in, we sold to a concert venue. They do make very good concert grand pianos, so I'm very grateful to get this piano into stock. That was sold in about January, so it's good to get two in the same year. Difficult to find them. Well, the piano is immaculate and hardly used. You can always tell if a piano has hardly been used looking at there's no sheet music really damage on here, as you do get with grand pianos, and there's absolutely no scratching, or very slight scratching. That's a bit of dust there, so you can see that the music hasn't had any music put there. Apparently it was sold in Germany by a firm in Bonn. So underneath the piano you can actually see this is the Yamaha delivery note, as it were, by Kraus and Paps, that means the piano removers, to Bonn Piano Rummler, and the clients bought it there and they shipped it to England just recently, and haven't really used the piano very much. So apparently it was used for a couple of concerts there, and you can actually see, if we look down at the casters, we can see, look in the centre of these, you can see markings which are commensurate with being used, maybe rolled around on a hard floor for a while, so maybe more than two concerts, but none of the outsides, there's no damage whatsoever on it, so that's dust again. So we just come in literally, so we've got to clean it a little bit, but we're very grateful to have got it in. We'll look at the hammers in a second. You'll see that there's no wear on those really at all. Right, it's immaculate on the inside too. There's the S6, which you get on this model. One of our favourite models of this size of grand piano, really. We're going to compare it with a restored Bechstein and a Yamaha C7 later on. But if we just briefly look here, there's no real need for me to show you this because it's all perfect, but just so you can see that it is perfect, and I'll try and show the rest of the case too. The tuning pins are absolutely rock solid. It's 3 beats flat, which indicates it hadn't been tuned for a long time, as the client did say. So it wasn't tuned in Germany for a while and wasn't tuned here since it's been here, so we'll see that it's quite well in tune, although unison slightly out, but has dropped in pitch slightly, which you'd expect. So you can't really see very well on the video of a black polyester piano, but again, that's dust, as you can see as I'm wiping it off. My polisher tells me not to do, just to be very careful actually, and not to scratch it by your moving your hand over it, but there's really nothing to show, and is in immaculate condition in every sense. So looking at the hammers, if we have a look at the wear on the hammers, well, they've just been, as it were, played in. There's no indentations really, you can just about see the marks there. I've been able to check the unicorder moving the right amount, which is so that the hammer will hit on a new piece of felt, not where the lines are, and that's absolutely correct. So no need to mark those to do that. And the only thing I noticed at all really is that the regulation, which is very slightly out, that's middle C, and it's perhaps a bit slower on the rise than we'd like it to be. So I've adjusted this one here as a demonstrator. So if we look at that one, it rises up faster, quite a lot faster. So I release the back check by taking my finger off the key slightly, and then you can see the hammer rises up. And the one next to it is not. That one's actually rising quite well, so that's less fast. So there's a slight refinement we can make. They'll all be fine for the moment in a sense, but over the years, obviously the piano, the springs which are under here do get worn, do slightly get slower and slower. So this is the adjuster, by the way, for the springs. It's used to pull the spring out, and adjust it, and then put it back in again. Looking at the rollers, they haven't been worn at all, these knuckles, but there's no talc on them or Teflon powder, which we will do just to smooth it off slightly and make it feel slightly lighter. All new pianos have, or top quality new pianos have, Teflon powder or talc, both at this point here and also, as I mentioned, on the rollers. So that does make it feel slightly smoother, more even. As I'm pulling the keys up here, there's not really that much need to lubricate the centre rail here, but we probably will do it anyway because it's a standard thing, and we'll just even off the touch slightly more. There's some things on the worksheet I haven't mentioned, like the legroom 62, 61.5 is normal, 61 So that's better legroom if you're tall, and pedals are very low, that's 5 centimetres. So if you did want to add caster cups underneath the casters, that would work. In other words, they're not very high off the ground, so if we put some caster cups under there, that would also give you more legroom. There's plenty of legroom for me here, but obviously there are a lot of tall people around who want to have more legroom, so that's important. Some other things, I've mentioned everything on here really. Just a pitch raise and fine tuning, fine voicing and regulation, especially springs and well, the rollers need lubricating, so that's something we need to do. And then we have the key, last of all, the weights. The down weight is slightly on the high side. It feels right really, so if you want it as a concert piano, or if you want it for serious practice, then that weight wouldn't be really a problem. I think if we lubricated, bring it down 1 or 2 grams possibly, and that would be more where it is. But it's pretty even, as you can see. Up weight there of 30 grams. That's about normal for this sort of piano. Steinway's very similar. So in all, it's an extremely pleasing concert grand piano. Just happened to have this John Austin English-made concert piano stool, which is what called a large concert stool. It's bigger than normal, so just thought I'd mention it because it's certainly a favourite one of ours. This is equivalent nowadays will be about £800 to £900. Top quality leather, very extremely good adjustments, and very smooth and extremely well made. This is the Hydra new concert piano stools that we sell normally. You can see how much bigger this one is. So it's very well made, obviously, for a new one. But this is, I think, probably 1980s, maybe slightly earlier, and as well made as you can get a piano stool. I'm going to compare the tone with some similar length pianos. This is a Yamaha C7 225 centimetres, made in 1979. It's just been refaced and some of the hammers are a bit brighter than they should be. And this is a fully restored Bechstein Model 5 made in 1895, 2 metres long. So that's a Yamaha S6, 212 centimetres long, and we're always very grateful when we get one of these into stock. We did sell one earlier in the year to a concert venue, and it's an ideal concert piano really, or just a large domestic one. Beautiful tenor area. That's something I'm always looking for in a piano. Very sensitive too. The touch is slightly less deep than normal. This is actually 10 millimeters. 11 might be more normal, but it just feels right. So I wouldn't alter anything. Possibly you could lighten the touch very slightly by lubricating, but it just feels as it should do. Very slight voicing here and there needed. So if you've got a concert venue, I can really recommend the piano. Sings beautifully. Plenty of power if you want to give it power. If you're interested in the piano, please do write to us, info@robertspianos.com, and let us know what you'd like to do. Thank you very much for listening.